What's up, YouTube Revolution? ZombfectedGaming 349 at your fingertips. Just before we get into talking about story DLC predictions, consider subscribing to the channel for all things related Dying Light 2 Stay Human, and don't forget to ding that bell icon really hard so I can always stay within fast reach of your fingertips when new uploads arrive. Alright, so we know Techland has confirmed at the very minimum they want to support Dying Light 2 for the next 5 years, and that's actually still a really long time worth of DLC. And since the city in the game, Villedor, was believed to be the last bastion of humanity, just doesn't seem right. The survivors within the vicinity of Villedor believe that it's the only last standing city on Earth, and which is why they call it the city. But I just finished a side quest earlier. I forget what it was called, but you gotta activate an antenna tower with this guy who is good at hacking and seemingly reaches out to Asia and possibly some cities in Asia, and Aiden says Europe to Asia and says, I thought Villedor was the last remaining city. But apparently, it was said that 98% of the human race has been wiped out, and that's extremely hard to believe because that's clearly meaning the human race is on the brink of complete extinction. So with the 5 years worth of DLC Techland has already planned for us, wouldn't make sense if humanity was nearly completely gone, because there wouldn't be any story left besides being inside Villedor. So of course, I think some organization out there like the GRE or some sort of branch of the GRE are hiding something like secret classified hidden cities out on Earth that may be thriving even more than Villedor, with no infected at all, and life in those cities could be like the old normal life. This is where we could get an extremely huge story DLC expansion like Dying Light 1 with the following. You know how in Dying Light 1 in Haran we couldn't drive cars and parkour was the main focus, and when the following came out, it focused on driving. And how in Dying Light 2 melee fighting is the main focus and firearms are not the main focus. Maybe we could get a similar situation where in this story expansion, we find out this possible GRE corporation faction that have firearms and a bunch of high tech and guns become the focus. Maybe some vehicles like a motorcycle with a bunch of stunts to do would be really awesome too. We also got our first big story map expansion coming out in June, and will open up another part of Villedor called Elyseum, and looks like it could be focused on chateau areas to explore, which is a massive French mansion castle-ish like place, and if these places are huge to explore and extremely creepy, it could be similar to the classic Resident Evil mansion type places to explore. But great ways to set up and tease story expansions that Techland could do is timed events like the first game, but on a much grander scale. Like I said, with the possible GRE corporation expansion, Techland could set up an event where GRE choppers are flying past Villedor and you gotta spot them. And maybe some fly over Villedor and the Villedor locals get extremely confused to why they are seeing helicopters and start getting suspicious to what's going on in the rest of the world. Now this would be great if Techland could do some stuff like this to set up and tease future Dying Light 2 story expansions. But those are just predictions and theories, a game theory. So make sure you take these all with a grain of salt, since this is just purely my speculation and these videos aren't sponsored by Techland. But that's all I wanted to talk about, Dying Light fans. Consider subscribing to the channel for all things Dying Light 2 and zombie apocalypse related, and ding that bell icon really hard so I can always stay within fast reach of your fingertips when new uploads arrive. ZombfectedGaming 349 over and out. Hello.